Have you ever heard this saying, good, better, best? Never let it rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. Well, with that mindset, let's start outside. So let me just give you a sneak peek of the new garden look, just real quick. This is the main difference, is that I put this large trellis here as an entry to the garden. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna plan on it yet to vine over, so give me some ideas. I want something maybe that won't hang so low. I don't know, I gotta figure it out if I want flowers or if I want grapes or if I want beans, we'll see. But the entrance on both sides of those trellises, I'm hoping to be a combination of flower and some type of herbs. Note that I moved one of the green stalks. I had two right there. The other one is down anchoring the other end of the garden. I moved this trellis over here, and the tomatoes are gonna go back here this year. And these are the tomato trellises. So I've got to figure out how to put those together. I have a new raised garden bed. This one here is gonna replace this wicker one. The wicker one, I tried to pull it over, I dragged it, and I broke one of the legs on it, so it's not very sturdy. Plus it doesn't drain very well, so we're gonna change that one out. Let's see, my short green stalk, I moved one here from the other side of the yard, and then this was the tall green stalk that I moved over. I actually have a new raised garden bed here that's gonna replace this one that's all bowed out because I didn't level out the ground when I laid it out last year. So we're gonna replace it with this pretty tall green one. Then I have another raised garden bed here in the corner here. So that's pretty much all the changes. I decided I needed a table on this end of the garden so that I can set things on it so I don't have to keep walking back and forth and bending over so much. These are garlic. I think that's garlic. Doing okay. These are cabbages. They're still alive, and I'm thinking if we get some nice weather like today in the 50s, they'll probably rebound. But you see I have these hoops on, and when the snow finally came, I didn't bother to come out and cover them. So I'm an indoor gardener right now. The lavender's still there. That's some hardy stuff. I had herbs here. These are mustard greens and collard greens. And I think they're gonna rebound. I think they are. Just because it snows doesn't mean that your plants don't need a good watering. So they all need a good watering. But honestly, I'm just not out here a whole lot right now. So as you can see, I've kind of been pulling up some of the plants that were right here. And I had some soil that I just kind of added in, and I'll get it all mixed in at some point. So that's it for outdoors right now, y'all. The foundation is there, the skeleton is there for the spring. I'm sure I'll have some other ideas before we get there. So here we go. This is the first grow activity in the grow tent. I'm gonna go ahead and set up this hydroponic with some lettuce, because as I start my new winter diet, I'm gonna be eating lots of salads and I don't want to have to buy lettuce. So I got this all plugged in and we're filling it with water right now. Fill up to the fill line. See that? I think this should do it. Making a mess there, but it's okay. It's all about the water here anyway. Okay, we're right at the fill line. And then I'm not gonna fill every space, but these are the little spacers, and you put inside these spacers these pods, and you put your seeds inside of these pods here. So I only filled in 4 spaces. And then also some things I see other people do, which I hadn't done, is before I put the seeds in, would be just to maybe soak them in a little bit of water, just to make sure that they're ready for the planting. Maybe they should soak, but I'm just going to dip them in there. Give it a good little dunking. And drop it back in the hole. All right, so those are all wet. I'm not trying to buy a whole lot of seeds. I have an abundance of seeds. So we're going to go ahead and use this Butter Crunch. I'll probably put about 2 in maybe that hole there. I've got this called Ruby Leaf, and I'll put about 2 of those seeds maybe over here. And then we've got this salad bowl mix that I got as a free gift from M.I. Gardener. We're going to use that. And let's see, what else do we have here? I've got something called Black Seeded Simpson. And we're going to put a couple of those somewhere. So let me get started with that. I put in these little anchors here. And the light can be pulled up or lowered according to how tall your plants are. And then these are little braces here that if you have taller plants can help keep them sturdy there. So I just keep that on no matter how tall my plants are. And at this point it's not necessary for the light to be so high. So I push that down. The water's in, so we put the lid on. There we go. Wipe that up a little bit. I like to keep things clean. I was able to put a few seeds in each pod, and let me tell you, that's not really an easy feat because lettuce seeds are very small. But you're supposed to cover up the tops of these, I guess, to keep the algae low inside the tank. So I have these, and you just kind of place them on top like that. But on the other ones where I don't have anything planted, I left the hole on. I left the little hole in the middle on because we don't want any light to get in those for it to create algae or any problems with our core water that's inside here. I'm going to get better at using labels this year. There's our salad bowl, our Butter Crunch, our Black Seeded, and the Ruby Leaf. We have these little covers that go on, so I'll put one on the Ruby Leaf. This is just to help with germination. I will put one on the salad bowl. We'll put one on the Butter Crunch. And we'll put one over here on the far side on the Black Seeded. I think it'll grow pretty quick. Quick Plant guides you through planting your arrow garden. Use this whenever you start a new garden. So we're starting a new garden today. So we're just going to hit the OK here, and we're going to follow the prompts through. All right, finally got it set up. Congratulations, your arrow garden is now ready to grow. And I custom set it for lettuce, and it will run the light every day from 8 a.m. to I think 11:30 p.m. It's a 15-hour light. And you have witnessed the first grow event in the new grow tent. So hey, everybody don't need this to grow. It's just something I chose to do. I actually grew perfectly fine over in this area. But it was an eyesore to the family. And now, my plants and I have some privacy. They're doing good out here. I'll keep you posted. Moving into more December indoor activities, I defrosted the deep freeze and found 3 freezer bags of Roma tomatoes. Look out, Rayo's, which is one of my favorite store-boughts, because this here homemade refrigerator tomato sauce is going to be on repeat. So I think in the last video, you saw me harvest turmeric. See that up there? Well, I cleaned and cut some of them, laid them out flat on my inexpensive dehydrator. Then I covered them and set the time and temperature. I haven't mastered the dehydrating time and temperature process. I just check often and keep it moving. The NutriBullet gets multi-use from us. In this case, it powdered the dry turmeric down. Then I spooned it into tea bags. I can use these for a quick steep tea or perhaps in a recipe. Well, don't let these little babies fool you. They pack a punch. This is jalapeno pepper jam. While the flavor was great, I didn't use the right amount of pectin in my recipe, so they didn't gel to the consistency that I wanted. But you know what? I'm working on getting my better best. So we're just going to take a quick speed through this little activity, which actually took me a lot of time. All of the new raised beds that I showed you out in the garden earlier in the video, well, this handy woman did that work. The captain would have had these things up and out the door in a quarter of the time that it took me, but I stuck with it until the project was done. So let's hope they hold water and dirt. Okay, so you've seen my plan, you saw my layout of what I intend the garden to look like, and so you've seen my indoor grow tent where we plan to have all of our plant starts. And so look, just like any other gardener, or if you're a new gardener, let me tell you what you turn into. You turn into sort of a seed junkie. So I've been collecting seeds and planting for about 5 years now. And I've got so many seeds, and they're probably all not 100% viable right now, but I use them as I can. But this year, what I would like to do is to be more intentional about my gardening and to plant the things that strive in my area. And so I've got a lot of seeds here. I've got plenty of seeds. But for the last 5 years, I plant because things look pretty. I plant because I see other people plant. I plant maybe not with the intentions that my family is going to eat it. I experiment. I just wanted maybe to see how something was going to grow. But this year, with my new layout, you know, with everything that I'm trying to do, I want to be very intentional about it. I don't want to be mediocre. I want to have a serious garden that I've thought out. And I know my journey will continue to change over the years, but that's where I am right now. I don't want to just put seeds out just because it's a broccoli seed. It might not be the broccoli seed that works best in my area. That's where I am. So what I've done here is I pulled out all of the seeds that I do want to plant. I went through all the categories: the tomatoes, the onions, the flowers, the broccolis, the cabbages, and I looked for the ones that grow well in my area. I researched that. And if they didn't say that they do well in zone 7, I'm not going to grow them. I would like to get more proficient in saving my own seeds at some point. But for right now, this is what we're doing. So I said all that to say, sure, you can plant a seed and it might do well, but I think at some point you need to really consider what grows best in your area. And some seeds do better, and I want better. So that's where I am right now. So let's look into the future of gardening with This is Bliss in the winter. Go and see this little window here. And this is what's happening. Not a lot right now, right? But look down there. There's our hydroponic. Got a little something going. Look at that. It's taking off, y'all. We're going to have some lettuce real soon. More to come. Catch us in January.